All right. How's it going, everybody? This is Jose Trujillo, once again coming to you from the Artist Studio. And today I will be painting something awesome again, because we only paint awesome stuff around here. Got my trusted Starbucks. Thank you, Starbucks. Thank you so much. I'm going to thank you ahead for supplying the Starbucks to my art studio. Thank you so much. I know one day this will happen. So here we go. I'm going to draw a landscape, okay? A tree line. Why? Because we can, guys. We can draw whatever we want. And I am proof of it. Here we go. I was looking at this artist online, blew me away because I'm always preaching this stuff. He was talking about mixing, not necessarily mixing, but in a way, right? Realism and abstraction, and the way he was talking about it made so much sense to me because I'm like, hey, I'm always talking about that. He said that all drawing is intuitive, you know, especially. And this is an older man, so he's been at it for a long time. And I thought it was pretty cool. I was like, oh, look, this guy's validating me. Anyways, I'm going to be using a brush like this. Okay, very simple brush. It's a flat brush. I think it's a number 4. I think. Doesn't really matter. But in case you're wondering. And here we go. Now I pick up from different artists as I started learning to paint, and I do it in different ways. This technique, many artists did this, especially, and not that I was there, but you can see when you visit the museums, you're able to see what they were doing. If you pay close attention. Cézanne used to do this a lot. It's sort of like a side brush, like this. Okay, Monet did that too. As opposed, many people think, and we've seen Monet paint like this, but he had different ways. Some of it were like the little tongues, like this, little licks. Da, 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 da. I don't know if you can see it there. And you see the background here? This is more what Monet did, in my opinion, and many other artists, but especially Monet. He would do layers, and I know some people think that he only did plein air, but when you see the paintings, you realize that that's not really entirely true. And I know other people have spoken out about that he did that alone. I think most of his major impressionist work, and what I mean major is like the stuff we know, like the water lilies or the haystacks and that kind of stuff. You can tell that they were dried. There's no way you can do that. There's no way that the paint is going to look like it clawed on a layer underneath without the layer underneath being dried. Just no way. It doesn't happen that way. So I know that he did it in layers because I pay attention. It doesn't matter how he did it. I love it. But I'm just telling you that that's another technique, I guess, Russian technique. So he would do something like this, let it dry for a couple of days, you know, whatever the paint took to dry. Depending on the pigments he was using, and come back to it. So he probably did this for 10-20 paintings at a time, and let them dry, and then come back to them, and then revise them. And I mean, it looks more like this, more like the painting board. Imagine doing the little haystacks up here, like this, something more like that. Anyways. Enough with the Monet thing. I used to love going to museums and watching his paintings, especially the later ones, the years at Giverny. Those when he had the cataracts, before he had them removed, or I think after, I don't know. But the when he went more abstract, that's what I'm trying to talk about. That to me spoke tons. Because that is really, I know, I mean, Why is my aim as an artist looking at someone whose eyesight is going out and whose work just completely got out of hand, according to many people, and became very abstract by will or maybe not. I don't know. Why is my aim that? Because I think that that's the as I mentioned before, an artist, for me, right, gets mature in when he gets mature. If that made any sense. Many artists paint beautiful stuff when they're young. You know, you could see a lot of Dali's work and many other artists. But I prefer the stuff when they're ready to go out. When they're ready to we say in Spanish, when they're ready to hang the boxing gloves. Colgar los guantes. When they're ready to leave the plane, the physical plane, they get very, very wise. Because now time has become a factor. And so I believe that presence, observation, being present, being in front of that, is now become amplified. They're no longer trying to paint something pretty, something nice, something witty, something. Not that they were trying to do it, but that is much less there than it was. They're no longer trying to please anybody. And we see that with Frida. I think that's why we love a lot of what Frida did, because Frida spent a lot of time in that, in that sort of waiting for death type of thing, or at least feeling that way. That's why we see Van Gogh. I think Van Gogh too. We are able to. It doesn't mean that you have to suffer. I'm not saying that. I'm in no way. But we see that with these suffering artists, or artists close to dying, right, in their deathbeds or whatever. We tend to see, we pay attention to it, we tend to see how they become more luminous right before departure. And that is what I am interested in when I see an artist. I see the works of any artist, and I'm more interested in the work that people are like, oh, at that point he was just doodling. No, he wasn't, or she. At that point, you couldn't see really well anymore. I mean, if you see Renoir's work, the Bathers and the work when he was reaching a point in his life where he had all this, really rheumatoid arthritis, really bad. And if you see those paintings, because all these elements have forced him to now be very, very present, and detail goes out the window. And why does detail go out the window? Because it doesn't matter, and they know it doesn't matter. They know that. They recognize that. In that time in their life, they have come to peace. That detail. It doesn't matter if you do abstract painting, abstract work. There's a sense of detail you're worrying about. I'm not talking about representational or not. I'm saying that if any type of work you do, there's sort of a detailed thing you're trying to do. There's sort of something that's like, oh man, did I get that right? Even if it's extremely abstract, there's something that we're trying to. The viscosity of the paint, I went deep there, huh? Yeah, I know my stuff. There's something, the preparation of the canvas, the ground, something you're trying to do that, we all try to do. Because we have time to worry about that, or to maybe not worry, but to go after that. But when time is no longer the factor, because there is none of it, very little of it left, then you cut out all the bullshit. It's part of my French. And when you cut that out, you're left with art, only art. And that, again, I will say it, is what rocks my boat. I like to see art. And it doesn't matter whether it's Mark Rothko or Picasso or Norman Rockwell. It doesn't matter. I love searching that out. I'm a geek for that. Where are their last works? Because those are the ones where I believe have the most meat. They have the essence of who they were. Because right before that time when they had to go, they had to cut out all the BS. They had no more time, but they needed to express. Nobody does this because there's, I'm not painting this because I have this lavish lifestyle. Nobody does this because of that. There's a need to express. And many artists focus on that aspect, and many artists don't focus on speaking about it, right? I don't really focus much on speaking about that. There's plenty of artists focusing on that already. The feeling and the emotion and the need to express and all of that. I just know it's true, but I don't focus too much on it. I like to focus on the unfolding of the expression more. I like to focus on how we grow as we express. For me, that's a bit more important. Guys, I will leave you with this. The name is Jose Trujillo. I am a super awesome artist. I know many people that will be watching this are super awesome artists too. And keep painting, or whatever you do. Maybe you're not painting, maybe you're a musician. Doesn't matter, you're an awesome artist, right? Maybe you're a writer, poet. Do me a favor, guys, if you guys can. Write down below what your art form is. I'd love to know. I'd love to get to know you in a deeper level. I'd love to see if you're a painter, you're a musician, you're a sculptor, you work with glass, cutting glass technique and all of that. I'd love to find out what you do. I think it'd be pretty cool to get to know each other a little better. Find out, maybe we can exchange ideas and learn from each other. So pretty cool, guys. Take care. This is Jose Trujillo, and I'll be talking to you soon again. Bye bye.